Okay, good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is Azam Basha. I have 14 plus years of experience in ID networking. I have 18 plus IT networking certifications, which includes Cisco, Juniper, and AWS. I have implemented Cisco ACI from scratch for multiple ID companies, and I have working with Cisco ACI from past 5 plus years. So why do you have to choose us? There are multiple other institutes that are offering ACI, then why just us? So we actually not just help you with the certifications, but we actually focus on technology. So we build network engineers for the future. How do we do that? We actually train you with these three questions: what, why, and how. So these three questions are very, very important for IT networking. So what is a specific protocol? Why is that specific protocol used, and how is that used? Right? So we follow this approach so that you build your basics and your core of IT networking very, very solidly. We don't go through the PPTs at all. So we keep it very minimal, and we do labs, and just labs. Okay. So basically, the best way to learn is through practicing, and we start from the scratch in terms of labs, so that we build up the labs for you people, and then we'll start practicing, and in the middle, you'll be learning the theory. Okay. So how do I teach? I first start with the discussion from the previous class. So basically, always do a revision for you people, and then any question and answers from the previous discussion, and then I start with the theory.
Don't do one.
Okay, when I do the
Don't do
theory,
one.
it's I trust you. Trust me, it is not going to be boring. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that it is going to be very interesting for you folks. Just a second. I guess someone is on. Let me mute Latish.
Yeah.
Latish seems to be on mute. Unmuted. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, so whenever I take the theory, trust me, it is not going to be boring. So I make sure that you people correlate with it in terms of lab. Okay. And what resources do we provide? So we provide the official Cisco PDF. Okay. So DC ACI. Okay. This is a concentration exam for the data center. Okay. So we are going to provide that official PDF. Along with that, we'll be providing you the access to the live classes videos. So we'll be recording these videos, and you can watch them for around 2 months. Okay. So you can watch these videos any number of times, and then you can come back with any other questions that you have. Yeah. And then we'll be giving you labs for lifetime. How does that lifetime work? I'll be telling you at the end of the course. Yeah. So lastly, so basically, I don't like classes that are muted. Okay. So if you don't answer the questions, then I'm going to ask you questions. So either you ask me questions, or if you are quiet, then I'll start asking questions. Right. So we'll make sure that it is very interactive and informative. Yeah. So let's start with the technology. So today, I'll be showing you up how to actually lab up the simulator. Okay, how to lab up the simulator. So basically, there are three ways that you can actually build up a ACI lab. Okay, you can build up a ACI lab in three ways. So the first one is, you can have free ACI lab from Cisco DevNet, which is, should I say, Cisco Sandbox. Has anyone heard about Cisco Sandbox? Yes, no, folks. We are around 13 people. Do you people, has anyone heard about Cisco Sandbox? Okay, there's a message. Okay, Fa says yes. Who else? Anyone else? Has anyone heard about Cisco Sandbox? Yes, no, folks. I'm waiting for your answer. Anyone? Yes, no. Okay, so this is the Cisco Sandbox. Let me paste in the link for you people. So this is absolutely for free. Okay, Nikhil says no, Vivo says no. Okay, so let me put this to everyone, meeting group chat. Okay, so I have pasted here. I guess you should be able. Okay, this is absolutely free. This is from Cisco, and let me quickly show you how to do that. Okay, you can log in through your Cisco account or Google account. It is absolutely free. And once you log in, there are two options that you see. Let me first log in. So here you would see launch sandbox, this option, either here or either here, anywhere. Okay. So let me just click on launch sandbox. So when I do that, so basically I'll get list of, okay, unfortunately it is not working today. Let's give it another try. Let's give it another try. Awesome. So this is not working today. This is one of the issues with the sandbox. See, now it seems to be working. So this keeps on happening on and off. Okay. The reason why is because this is absolutely for free, right? This is one way that you can access the ACI simulator for your lab practice. Okay. There are two types. The first type is always on. If you see here, there's always on, and the other one is reservable. Okay. So the always on, you can just click on launch and it will launch. For the reservable, you have to go and reserve the sandbox. Okay. And again, it is absolutely for free. The problem with sandbox is glitches not available always, because it will be down most of the times, down slash maintenance. So this is one way. Second one is, the second way is using the simulator for server, using the simulator on top of server via ESXi. Okay. Has anyone heard about ESXi? This is a VMware operating system. Yes, no, again, folks. It's okay. You can just tell rather than typing. Yes, no.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. Yeah. So what happens here is you need to have a server. Okay. You need to have a server of at least 64 GB and of at least 16 cores. Okay, and this is expensive. The problem with this is expensive. Does anyone have server in their home? Does anyone have a server with you? Okay. V sorry, I don't know your name. So it says Vivo V2250. Okay, so he has the server. Anyone else apart from him? Because it's
And
costly.
not a dedicated server, but I have a
Oh,
machine with the i9 processor and a 64 GB of RAM.
Okay, fine.
no, Azim Bashar, that S is for that ASXI question, not for the server. I hope you got my point. Am I audible?
Yes, can you repeat that?
That S is for ESXi. You asked me about ESXi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not for about server. I don't have any server.
Okay, you don't have any server. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So this particular servers, they're expensive. So what we do is we actually provide 2 months access to our server. Okay, so you'll have access for 2 months for the server. You can practice. Okay, that is one of the main reasons for you to join the course. Okay, the next one is the third one, and third one is laptop. Okay, you can run Sandbox on a laptop provided you have at least 64 GB of RAM and at least 8 core processor. Does anyone have this configuration laptop? If yes, then we will provide you the images of ACI simulator and you can use this for absolutely lifetime. Okay, so these are the 3 ways that you can lab up for your practice. These are the 3 ways that you can lab up the simulator for your practice. Yeah. So any questions till here in terms of labbing up? How to do it? I'll show you now. I'll show you for the laptop one. How to lab up a laptop with your ACI simulator. Any questions still here? Yes, no, folks?
Yeah, Azim Bashar, I have a doubt related to the class. This is the first class or is anything before happened?
Yeah, this is a demo class.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I'll be just showing you how how we can actually bring up the fabric. So today's discussion is going to be
Okay, before that, before this class, there is a class that happened, right?
no. So this
This
is the
is not
first
the
demo class. So this is just a
okay.
demo class. Okay. So this demo class here in this demo class, you will understand how do we teach. And then our first class will be from the next week once you enroll. Okay.
Okay, okay. Because I joined a bit late, that's why I'm asking these questions.
Okay. So today's topic of discussion is going to be bringing up the ACI fabric. Yeah. So that any questions on this, how to lab up the ACI? Yes, no?
No.
Great. Fine. So I'll take up one way, which is laptop. So if you see, I have uploaded the ACI image in the Windows workstation. Okay. I uploaded the image in Windows workstation. Once you are once you have joined the batch, I'll be giving you the image of the same, and I will also be telling you how to actually upload and start working with it. Okay. So let's start up. So as soon as you bring up the ACI fabric, okay. So I understand most of you are new and you would not be knowing the terminologies that I'm discussing right now. That's completely okay. Just follow up what I'm trying to tell. Okay. So let me give you a picture of what I'm trying to say right now. So I'm going to take up a Word document. Let me take up a paint, okay, which is absolutely black. Okay. So basically, Cisco ACI contains 3 parts. Okay. Let me write it down for you people. Cisco ACI contains 3 hardware components. Any guesses, folks? I guess 1 or 2 of you have already worked on ACI. The first one is APIC. The second is spine. The third is leaf. So these are the 3 hardware components that we see in the ACI fabric. Okay. ACI fabric. So when all these 3 are connected together, then this particular setup is called as a fabric. Okay. So these 3 are hardware components. Now let's discuss a little bit about each of them. So APIC is a UCS server as a hardware. Okay. The hardware is the UCS server. And you get an image that is called as APIC. Basically, this particular image is on top of the APIC image is on top of the UCS server. Okay. Next, spine. Spine is a Nexus device. Leaf is also a Nexus device. So spine is usually a 9300 series device, and your leaf is a usually 9500 series device. Okay, just a FYI, 9500 series devices are very hefty devices. So these devices are pretty big. So you will see a lot of modules in these devices. Before that, do you hear any background noise?
No.
Okay, great. So basically these devices are actually very bulky devices. They contain a lot of modules. Okay. The reason why they contain a lot of modules, why we use bulky devices here is because these leaves are connected to the end hosts. We call them as endpoints. I have a question for you all. What is an endpoint or an end host? It can be a server. It can be a physical server, or it can be a VM. It can also be a L2 device, right? What else comes in this endpoints? We are all networking folks. In traditional networking, what else comes in the endpoints? Laptops, mobiles, printers, everything, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so these 3 are the hardware components of ACI fabric. Okay, let's imagine we have bought a ACI fabric. We have bought in a ACI fabric. from where we have bought in the fabric, we have asked Cisco to actually ship the ACI fabric. We have paid the money to Cisco. Cisco has shipped the fabric. Now we have these three hardware components. So the first problem is, what is the first problem? The first step, okay, rather than problem, what is the first steps? Steps to set up our fabric. The first one would be the cabling, right? So we have to first cable these three hardware components. How do we cable? How do we cable these hardware components? So we have three components, which is our server, which is UCS. On top of UCS server, there is a operating system installed. Okay, that particular operating system is called as ACI OS. Okay, and that particular operating system is handled by the APIC. Okay, so this is the APIC controller. Okay, so we are placing a APIC controller here. Okay, so we have a spine and a leaf. So let's imagine we have purchased one spine and two leaves. Firstly, we have to first cable the UCS box to the leaf. Okay, the first step would be cabling, connect the UCS server to the leaf. Okay, that is the first step. So you will ask me, should I connect to all the leaves? No need to connect to all the leaves. You can just connect to multiple leaves, one or two leaves. Usually two leaves. Okay, then your next question is, should I connect this to the spine? The answer is should not. We should not connect the APIC, okay, to the spines. We should not be connecting the APICs to the spines. Now you will ask me the question, why should I not connect? You should not connect the APIC to the spines because APIC does not, the spines do not take part in the data plane. The spines do not take part in the data plane. Okay, so you'll ask me again, why the spines do not take part in the data plane? To answer your question, the spines do not take part in the data plane because they are just used for connecting one leaf to another, which means that basically the function of the spine is just used as a route reflector. I'm using the word route reflector. They actually exchange the routes. They actually exchange the routes with the leaves. Okay, so I'm pausing for a minute. Does anyone have any questions? Are you people following? I'm going to summarize it till whatever I said till now. Okay.
Okay,
So I have ordered a ACI fabric with Cisco. So Cisco has sent me 3 hardware devices. The first one is the UCS server that contains a APIC image. The second one is a 9300 series device. The third one is the 9500 series device. So I have 3 hardware components with me. So Cisco shipped me after I ordered. So what I would do next, as soon as I get the shipping, I will remove the boxes, and the first step I will do is the cabling part. Now I should know where to cable what, right? So in the beginning, I'll place all 3 devices. After placing all 3 devices, first I will cable the leaf to the UCS server, which contains the APIC controller. The second is I will connect the spines to the leaves. Okay, I'm pausing here. Any questions still here? Yes, no, folks?
So the users will have only single uplink, or it will have terminal links also.
Can you repeat? You were very low.
The users will have a single uplink, or it will have another connection to the other leaves also.
Okay, you are very hard to understand. So did you say that does the UCS have a
A single uplink, or is it will have multiple uplinks
yes?
to other leaves?
Okay, so the UCS can have a single or multiple uplinks. Okay, so if you see here, I've mentioned here, no need to connect to all the leaves, usually 2 leaves. Okay, let's say for example, okay, let's say for example, I'm having 5 leaves or 4 leaves. Okay, I need not connect the other 2 leaves to the UCS. Okay, I've connected to the 2 leaves. That should be more than sufficient. Okay,
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah.
cool. Any other question? I'm starting from the scratch. You don't need to have any ACI basics for this. We just ordered a box. Should I say package? We just ordered a ACI package. We got the package from the Cisco, right? We unboxed it. We kept 3 devices. The first thing we do is cabling. Now I'm helping you and telling you how to cable, right? We would cable the UCS to the leaves. That is step number 1. The step number 2 is we will be connecting the all the spines to all the leaves. Okay, so let me pull up a diagram. Let me pull up a diagram. Let me pull up a diagram from my PPT here. Okay, so this is the usual setup. Okay, what is the usual setup? Let me go back. Let me get you another diagram. Okay, okay, this is a standard diagram. Okay, so as I mentioned, so we have 3 components. The first component is our UCS. The second component is our leaf. The third component is our spine. Right? So we connected the leaf to the UCS server. The second step would be we will be connecting all the spines to all the leaves. all the spines to all the leaves. In this case, there are two spines. And we have to connect these two spines to all the leaves. There are two spines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 leaves. So basically, spine 1 will have 8 connection. Spine 2 will have 8 connections. This is going to be a full mesh connection. All the spines will be connected to all the leaves. Are we clear till here, everyone? And then I'm going to tell you some things that we should not be doing. So we are around 15 people here. It's a very good turnout. So any question till here?
No.
Yes, no, folks? Any question?
No.
Great. Okay. So now I have a couple of questions for you folks. Before asking couple of questions, I will tell you what you should not be doing. Note. Number 1, as I mentioned here, we should not be connecting the APIC to the spines. This is number 1. Number 2, we should not be connecting one leaf with another leaf. Do not do this. Okay? This note says we should not be doing this. This is going to be against the architecture. Okay? We should not be connecting any APIC to the spine. The second is we should not be connecting any leaf to another leaf. That's the second don't. The third one is we should not be connecting one spine with another spine. These are the don'ts. Okay? We should not have connection between the leaves. We should not have connection between the spines. And we should not be connecting the APIC to the spine. Okay? I already answered you why we should not be connecting the spines to the APIC. Okay? So the reason for that is the spines do not take part in the data plane. Okay? Why we should not be connecting one leaf with another leaf? If we connect one leaf with another leaf, then there is no need of spine, right? It is against the architecture. Okay, why we should not be connecting one spine with another spine? If we connect one spine with another spine, then again it is against the architecture. This is similar to, this architecture is similar to, before telling, I have a question to which architecture it is similar. I have a question. What are the 3 types of architectures that we see in the traditional networking? What are the 3 types of architectures we see in the traditional networking? Very basic interview question. This is for usually a L2, L1 and L2 guys. Anyone here? What are the 3 basic architectures? Okay. Okay, three
Two-tier
core
and
architecture. Yes.
two-tier and
Yes.
distributed and core and access.
Yes. Great. Our friend Bagmal answered one. 2-tier. Okay. 3-tier.
Three-tier.
Right. 3-tier. 2-tier. And what else? Do we have just 3 types or we have 2 types? Okay, Shrujit is typing in something here. He says 3 core architecture. You can speak up, Sujit. Access, distribution, core, spine, and leaf. Okay, fine. So for you people, there is a 3-tier architecture and there's a 2-tier architecture. Okay.
And
Okay. What?
multi-tier architecture.
Sorry.
Multi-tier architecture.
Multi-tier architecture. Okay. What is that multi-tier architecture?
Actually, where we do have core layer and some super core layer.
Okay, super core layer. Okay, cool. So out of these 3, which type of architecture do you think our ACI is?
ACI is two-tier architecture.
Great. So this is the 2-tier architecture and we call this as class model, CLOS. We call this as a class architecture. Okay. So basically in 2-tier, what happens? There is a communication between the core layer. But here in our case, there is no communication between the core layer. There is no communication between the access layer. So basically, this is called as a class model, okay, or a class architecture, which is similar to our 2-tier architecture. Okay, great. So here we have cabled up. We cabled up the ACI fabric. We are done with the cabling. So does anyone have any questions with the cabling? If you don't have any questions with the cabling, then we will go ahead and start setting up our fabric. Any questions in terms of cabling, folks?
No, it's clear. Very
Great.
clear.
Okay. So once I've cabled up, so what next I should be doing is I should be logging into my UCS server. Let's take up one server here. Okay. I should be logging into UCS server. So does anyone have experience with the UCS server? Anyone has experience here with the UCS server?
I just little experience, but we are not in many changes. But I do have the access, and I can check some configuration. That's it.
Okay. So let me give you the basics of UCS. Okay. UCS server is an intelligent server. Okay. UCS server has its own operating system, which is managed by SIMC. Okay. Just go Google what is SIMC later. Okay. So basically, this particular SIMC gives you access to the UCS server. Okay. So what you should be doing is you should be first upgrading your SIMC in your UCS server. Okay. So that's the best practice. If you don't do, that is absolutely okay, but it is always recommended. Okay. So you first cable it up everything. After cabling, you switch on your UCS server. You switch on your leaves. You switch on your spines. All of them are switched on. Now this UCS server will have a USB connection. Plug in a cable and connect the UCS server to your laptop. As soon as you do that, this is what is going to happen. It will do the bootstrap. It will do the bootstrap. It will run. And this is the first question that it will be asking you. What is the first question? The first question it will ask you is, enter the fabric name. Okay. What is a fabric? Now I already told you the fabric. Let me tell you the terminologies. Fabric is collection of APIC, spines, and leaf. All three components together is called as a fabric. Okay. So it is asking me to name the fabric. By default, it is already giving me a name. What is the default name? ACI fabric. Okay. I like it. I like the name. So I'm going to hit enter. Next, it is asking me for a fabric ID. So I've given the name for the fabric. Now it is asking me to give an ID, give me a number for the fabric. Okay. The default is 1. I would say, okay, that is fine with me. So I'm going to hit enter. Next, the next question it is asking me is, enter the number of active controllers in the fabric. Okay. It is asking me for the number of controllers in the fabric. Okay. Let's pause here. So the first question that it asked is to give me the name of the fabric. Okay. This name is used by for us for our identification. For our identification. When I say our identification, network engineers identification. The ID is given for the identification of the fabric in the underlay. Now you will ask me what is an underlay. Before that, I will ask you one question. Has anyone heard the word underlay and overlay? Yes, no, folks.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So Anup says yes. Anyone else? Has anyone else heard about the underlay overlay before?
Yeah, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What is an underlay?
Physical connectivity, switches, routers, cables like that. Overlay, we can consider VPN.
Okay. Good. So basically, underlay is the end-to-end connectivity. Does everyone agree with the statement? Underlay is the end-to-end connectivity. Yes, no? Okay. Overlay is the desired connectivity. Like our friend Bala said, one of the example VPN. Along with that, I would also add you some other protocols like BGP. Very good. What else? Multicast. What else? VXLAN. What else? List.
EVPN.
Okay, EVPN. Flavor of a VPN. Okay. So these are few examples for our overlay. Basically, overlay is the desired traffic. Okay. So now coming back. So the second question is enter the fabric ID. This particular ID is used for our underlay identification. Okay. Okay. What identification, how it works, all of that we'll discuss completely in detail. The only request is you people have to join the class. Yeah. The third question is enter the number of active controllers. Okay. So what is the controller? We have been discussing about the controller. Basically, controller is our APIC controller that is on top of the UCS server, right? We know that. We know that there is a image, there is a piece of software that is on top of the UCS server, right? That is called as our APIC, correct? So that is what we discussed here. Okay. Now Cisco recommends us to have at least 3 APIC controllers. This is the Cisco recommendation. Cisco recommends us, when you say us, Cisco recommends the network engineers that we need to have at least 3 APIC controllers. Any guesses why?
Redundancy.
Great, redundancy. Okay. What else? Okay, redundancy. What else? Any guesses? Has anyone heard about load balancing? What is load balancing or load sharing? Sharing the load between the active devices, correct?
Yes.
Yes, no, folks, we are all on network engineers here.
Yes.
Okay. Any other point? Redundancy, load sharing. Any other point? Why only 3? If there is a redundancy, we can have 2, right? Why 3? We usually stack up 2, right? We have not heard 3. Usually it is 2. Either it is 2, 4, 6, 8 like that, correct? Why 3?
Yes.
So with ACI, there's something called as split brain. There's something called as split brain scenario. To avoid that scenario, Cisco says that we need to have 3 APIC controllers. So what is that split brain scenario is a puzzle for you people, which we'll be discussing in the next class. Okay. So in my case here, now this is a simulator. So I just have one APIC controller with me. So I'm going to put in 1 here. Okay. So by default, 1 is selected. So I'm going to hit an enter. Okay. So the next question it is asking me is whether this is a standby controller. Now I'm confused. So where am I confused? I ordered per Cisco's recommendation 3 controllers. Now once I switched on the APIC controller, it is asking me whether this is a standby controller. Okay. So basically there's a difference between active controllers and standby controllers. So Cisco recommends 3 controllers, correct? Cisco recommends 3 controllers, and all these 3 controllers are active controllers. When I say all these 3 are active controllers, that means all 3 controllers are actually actively taking part in the communication with the leaves. Okay, so now you will ask me, does the APIC controller take part in the data traffic? The answer is no. The APIC controller does not take part in the data traffic. Now let me just put in couple of notes here, FYIs. The first FYI is spine does not, which you people already know, take part in data traffic. Number 2, APIC controller does not take part in the data traffic. Okay, then you will ask me, what is the function of a spine? What is the function of an APIC controller? I already told you the function of the spine. The function of the spine is to behave like a route reflector. What is the function of the route reflector? Firstly, it connects all other devices and then it will exchange the routes, correct? Now, what is the function of an APIC controller? The APIC controller sends the profiles and policies to the leaves and spines. So this is the function of the APIC. So basically it will just send the configuration. That is it. The function of the APIC controller is it sends the configuration. I'm going to pause here. Any questions? I'm open for questions. If you
What
people are
type of
not asking
configuration?
questions, sorry.
What type of configuration from the Epic controller side?
Okay, good question. What type of configuration? Any type of configuration. For example, now there is a, for example, there is an endpoint that is connected here. Okay, and there is an endpoint that is connected here. If these two endpoints want to communicate, then there should be configuration here, correct? You agree?
Yes, 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 yes.
So this configuration is sent by the APIC controller.
Here you are saying that no manual configuration is required, right?
So basically you are doing a manual configuration in the APIC controller. There are two ways that you can configure. The first one is manual and the second one is automated way. That automated way you need to use a code. Okay, you should either use a Python or Ansible, right?
Okay. Okay.
So
And one more thing, you said that policy is also implemented, right? Policy is also going to implement.
Correct.
Which kind of policies, like ACL or IPS?
So the profiles and policies are actually the name given to the configuration. Okay, so basically the configuration is of two types. The first configuration is The first part of the configuration is you actually create a template. Configuration type. Okay, types. So firstly, you create templates and then you implement these templates repeatedly. Okay, the first type is creating a template. Creation of template is called as a policy. And you use the same template based on your requirement. And you fill in the configuration accordingly and then you send it to the leaves. Okay. So when you do the lab, you'll understand it in a much better way. So a simple understanding is, in case if you want to configure even one interface in the leaf, you will have to actually go to the GUI of the APIC controller. Okay, you do the configuration, the APIC controller will send the configuration. How it will send the configuration? Basically, it will send the configuration like this. Am I clear?
Yes.